नमस्कार दोस्तों, मेरा नाम है डॉक्टर गौरव और मैं आपका बहुत बहुत स्वागत करता हूँ अपने YouTube चैनल जिसका नाम है दयाल एंड सन्स क्लासेस। इस वीडियो में ये हमारी CS NET PYQ चैप्टर वाइज सीरीज की 4th वीडियो है जिसमें हम अगेन ऑर्गेनोमेटेलिक केमिस्ट्री से रिलेटेड प्रीवियस ईयर प्रॉब्लम्स कर रहे हैं। आज की वीडियो में हम 18 इलेक्ट्रॉन रूल की इम्प्लीकेशंस देखेंगे कि कैसे 18 इलेक्ट्रॉन रूल की मदद से हमें क्या क्या इंफॉर्मेशन मिलती है। देखते हैं पहले 18 इलेक्ट्रॉन रूल आखिर है क्या। लेट अस सी व्हाट इज द 18 इलेक्ट्रॉन rule. Now 18 electron rule means, according to 18 electron rule, any compound, any organometallic compound or a complex containing 18 electron will be the most stable. So that is 18 electron rule tells us about the stability of the complex. First information that is provided by the complex by the 18 electron rule is the stability of the complex. Stability of the organometallic compounds / complexes. Organometallic compounds or complexes. Now, and when a compound will be stable according to 18 electron rule, the total electron count should be is equal to 18 or in multiple of 18 or in the multiple of 18. That is TC, either if the TC is equal to 18 or it is in multiple of 18. For example, let a compound have TC is equal to 36. Let's say for any compound TC comes out to be 36, then this is stable. Or TC is equal to 54, then again this will also be stable, because what can we write 36 18 into 2, and for 54 you can write 18 into 3. So 36 and 54 are multiple of 18, and according to 18 electron rule, any complex or compound containing 18 electron or total electron count in the multiple of 18, and if the total electron counts in the multiple of 18, then that particular compound will be the stable one. Alright, now let us see what is the second information that we get from this rule. The first foremost information that we get from the 18 electron rule is the stability. For TC is equal to 18 or 18 into n, or 18 into n, we can write like this. Second information what we get is, if total electron count is not equal to 18, the compound is unstable, and here two situation arises. First one is TC less than 18, and second condition is TC greater than 18. Now if TC is greater than 18, what will happen in the compound if it wants to stabilize itself? If the total electron count is less than 18, then the complex can gain electron. Then the electron will gain electron in order to make total electron count equal to 18. Right? What will happen? The complex will tend to gain the electron in order to make its total electron count 18. So what does this gain of electron means? Gain of electron means reduction. So any compound which has TC less than 18 has a tendency to get reduced easily than the one which are having total electron count equal to 18. These will have a greater tendency to gain the electron, that is they will have the greater tendency to get reduced easily. Greater the difference, greater are the chances of it getting reduced. Now, if TC is greater than 18 means the total electron count is more than 18. So, in order to get to 18, in order to make TC equal to 18, what the compound can happen? What changes can take place in the compound? The compound can lose electron. Then complex can lose electron, and losing electron means oxidation. So thus what we can say, if the total electron count is not equal to 18 and is greater than 18, then the complex has a tendency to get oxidized. So these two are the implication of 18 rule. First is that if TC is equal to 18, then it will be stable. It will be difficult for a compound with TC equal to 18 to oxidize as well as to get reduced. But if TC is not equal to 18 and TC is less than 18, then there is very likelihood that the compound can get reduced easily. But if TC is greater than 18, then there is very heavy likelihood to that the compound loses the electron in order to get to TC equal to 18 in stable state. Therefore, we can say that a compound with TC greater than 18 can be oxidized easily. Now, this 18 electron rule is applicable for transition metal complexes only. This is applicable for transition metal complexes. But if organometallic compound is formed by main block elements such as Grignard reagent, what is the general formula for Grignard? RMGX. For example, RMGX, Grignard reagent. In these cases, 18 electron rule takes the form of 8 electron rule. Now, in such cases, when the organometallic compound is formed from the main group elements, or the complex is formed from the main group elements, then the 18 electron rule takes the form of 8 electron rule. Alright, it will take the form of 8 electron rule. Therefore, now in such cases, what we can say, if TC is equal to 8 or in multiple of 8, TC is equal to 8 or if in multiple of 8, then the compound will be stable. And if total electron count is less than 8, then it can get reduced. And if TC is greater than 8, then the complex can get reduced. And greater than 18 may, one more thing I forgot to tell you, if TC is greater than 18 but is equal to the multiple of 18, then again it will be stable and it will be difficult for them to get reduced. Alright, I hope this is clear. Now let's move to questions that are asked in the previous year from this particular concept. Let me pause the video and write down the question first, then we'll do it. Alright, the first question says, the first question in this video is from June 2011. In this question it was asked, the 4 complexes are given. One was ferrocene, cobaltocene, ruthenocene and cobaltocene cation. Now, in this case, it was asked which of these compounds will get oxidized easily. So what we need to see, whether for which of these complex TC is greater than 18. If we know the TC value, then we can tell if the TC is for any of these complex is greater than 18, then then that particular complex will get oxidized easily. Alright, let us check now. Let us calculate for first ferrocene A part. For A, Tc is equal to, there is one iron and iron contributes 6 electron as per neutral method. We will be using neutral method for calculating Tc. Now in the neutral method, iron contributes 6 electrons, so 6, and there is only one ferrocene, so only 6 plus. Then there is cyclopentadienyl anion with neta 5. Neta 5 cyclopentadienyl contributes 5 electron as per neutral method. So 6 plus 5, and there are 2 such units, so we multiplied 5 by 2. Oh sorry, iron contributes 8 electron. My mistake. Iron according to neutral method contribute 8 electrons. Iron by neutral method contributes 8 electrons. 6 electron is contributed in case if we take if we use the ironing method, then then the iron will contribute 6 electrons. But we are taking the neutral method, and according to neutral method, iron contributes 8 electrons because it has 8 valence electron, is equal to 18. So this complex ferrocene will not get oxidized easily. Now let's move to B. For this, Tec is equal to cobalt. Cobalt contributes 9 electron according to neutral method. So 9 plus, again there is 2 unit of C5H5, that means 10 electrons is equal to 90. So it is having Tc, this is greater than 18. Let us check if there is anyone else containing even more electron than 19. Greater the number of electrons more than this 18, more than the 18. Here, if in this complex we have 19, if let's say if another complex we get 20 electron, then that particular complex has a more tendency to get oxidized easily than this one. Now let us check for remaining 2. What are the Tec for these? For C, Tec is equal to Ru. Ruthenium belongs to iron family, lies in the group of iron, so it will contribute 8 electron. Neta 5 C5, there are 2 units of neta 5 C5, that is cyclopentadienyl, 2 units, 1 unit contributes 5 electron, therefore 2 unit will contribute 5 into 2, that is 10 electrons, that is equal to 80. This is equal to 80. Let us calculate for D. Here we have cobalt. Cobalt contributes 9 electron. There are 2 C5H5 unit, that is 10, and there is one plus charge in this complex. Plus charge means 1 electron has been removed from the complex. Therefore we will write -1. Here plus charge means 1 electron has been moved out of this particular complex. Neutral state was this, neta 5 C5 whole to CO, and we have here in the D complex we have positive charge. Positive charge means 1 electron has been removed. So -1, that is equal to 18. So therefore B option is the correct answer. So only B will be cobaltocene, neutral cobaltocene, that is neta 5 C5H5 whole to CO. B option, B, the complex given in the B option will get oxidized easily. I hope it's clear. Okay, now let's move to next question. Okay, next question is from December 2011. In December 2011, there were 2 questions from this concept. First question was, we are given a carbonyl complex. In this, we need to find what will be the M that will satisfy this 18 electron rule in this complex. And the options given were, we have asked 2 of the metals that will satisfy, that can replace M such that this particular complex obeys the 18 electron rule. Now let us check one by one. Let us first calculate how many electrons, what is the contribution of this meta M in this particular complex to make it 18. For that we will calculate Tc for this particular compound, assuming that this M contributes electrons equal to small m. Alright, we assume that this metal is contributing small m electrons in this for this complex to get to 18 electron complex. Let us calculate by neutral method. Point to be noted, by according to neutral method, we are supposing that this m is contributing a small m electron as per neutral method. Okay. Now as per neutral method TC, there is 1 m, so small m is the number of electrons contributed by this m as per the neutral method. Now CO as per neutral method contributes 2 electrons, they are 5, so multiplied by 5, plus this is a carbene, and carbene contributes 2 electron as per neutral method, so plus 2. Why we are writing 2? This is a carbene molecule and carbene contributes 2 electron, so totals comes out to be 12 plus x. And what this 12 plus x must be equal to? And 12 plus x is equal to 18. Why we are saying 12 plus x is equal to 18? Because this complex is satisfying 18 electron rule. Sorry, m. 12 plus m. Therefore, what do we get value of m? Therefore, m is equal to 6. Therefore, the electronic contribution made by m as per neutral method should be 6. Now let us check for which of these combinations do we get 6 electrons in the contribution. 6 electron contribution. Which of these metal gives 6 electron contribution? We have Cr, Re plus, Mo and vanadium. Now Cr as per neutral method will contribute 6 electron, Re plus will contribute, Mo contributes, molybdenum contributes 6 electron, molybdenum will contribute 6 electron, vanadium contributes 5 electron, Re contributes 7 electron, but we have 1 plus, so we will subtract 1, that is equal to, that is 6. That means Re plus is contributing 6 electrons. We have Re plus. Re plus means 1 electron has been lost from the Re. So we have only 6 electron with Re, so Re will contribute 6 electron instead of 7 in this case because it has positive charge. Alright. So M can be replaced by either Cr, Re or Mo. Vanadium cannot. So what are the options are? A option is Cr and Re plus. Second option was Mo, molybdenum and vanadium. Third was vanadium and Re plus, and fourth was chromium and vanadium. So we have seen that vanadium contributes 5 electron, it is not contributing 6 because we want 6 electron contribution. So the correct option is A, chromium and Re plus. Correct option is A, Cr and Re plus. I hope it's clear. Alright. Now let's move to next question. Next question is again from December 2011. And this the question complex given was MCO whole X. Let me rub this solution for the previous question first. The complex given was metal CO whole X Z negative. MCO whole X Z negative, and we were asked what will be the correct combination for metal M, X and Z negative such that this particular complex obeys 18 electron rule. This complex obeys 18 electron rule. What will be the combination for M, X and Z so that this particular complex obeys the 18 electron rule? Now let us see what are the options we are given. Number first option, M is Ti. For this complex, let us calculate TC. Now, in the first option, according to first option A, metal is Ti. Ti means titanium. Titanium contributes 4 electrons. Titanium contributes 4 electrons. So there is one metal 4 plus CO contributes 2. And what is the x is given with Ti? X is given as 6. So 2 into 6. What is the value of Z? 1. That means 1 negative. 1 negative means 1 electron has been taken up by this complex, and that 1 electron is contributing in the skeletal count. Therefore, plus 1. What do we get? This comes out to be equal to 17. So this cannot be the correct combination. Now let us check for C. TC is equal to M is in the C option. M is given as cobalt, and cobalt contributes 9 electron. X value of X is given 4, so that means 4 carbonyl. 1 carbonyl contributes 2, and 4 will contribute 2 into 4. And value of Z is given as 2. That means 2 negative means 2 electrons are adding up. So we add plus 2. What do we get? What do we get? Is equal to 8 and 2 10, 10 plus 9 19. So this is also not the correct combination. We are getting total electron count to be 19. This is also not a correct combination. I hope it's clear. Alright, I do one thing. I write a general TEC for this first. Then it will be clear. M plus F 2 into X 2 into X plus Z. This will be the general TEC for this complex. If we assume that M is contributing small m electron, CO we know contributes 2 electron. One CO contributes 2 electron, they are X CO, so 2 into X. And this is Z negative, means Z electron have been taken up by this metal, and these Z electrons are contributing in the skeletal electron count. So therefore, we write here plus Z. Now, if M is Ti, for Ti contribution is equal to 4, contributes 4 electrons. So I write here for M, I have written 4. Now X is given to us 6 for this option. So I write it X equal to 6. Then Z value is given as 1. So I replace this Z by 1. So I get 17. So hence this becomes wrong, because it said that this complex will satisfy 18 electron rule. And this should come equal to 18 आना चाहिए, because it is obeying the 18 electron. For C option, we have M is cobalt. Cobalt contribution of cobalt is 9 electrons, so M is replaced by 9. X is given to us 4 in this option, so we replace X by 4, so 2 into 4. Z value is given as 2, so we replace Z by 2. We get total of 19 electrons. So this is also not the correct option. Let us check for D. In D option, metal given to us is molybdenum. Molybdenum contributes 6 electrons. 6 plus. Molybdenum contributes 6 electrons plus. X value is given as 5. So 2 into 5. Z is given as 1 plus 1 is equal to again 17. So this is also not the correct option. So the correct option is B. Let us check it also once for B. T is equal to, here metal is vanadium. Vanadium contribution of vanadium of contribution is 5 electrons. Contribution of vanadium is 5 electrons. So I write here 5 plus. X value of X is given as 6. So 2 into 6. And Z is given as 1. So plus 1 is equal to, this comes out to be 18. 6 to 12, 5 plus 1, 6, 12 plus 6, 18. So we get total 18 electrons. Therefore, option number B is the correct option. I hope it's clear. Alright, let me rub this question and we'll move to next question. Now we come to next question. This question was asked in June 2012. This question is from June 2012. In this question, it was asked that Identify which of these four complexes do not obey the 18 electron rule. Now again, we are in this question we have to calculate TC, and for the complex for which the TC does not come equal to 18, that will not obey the 18 electron rule. So let us calculate the total electron count for this. Let us calculate TC for the first complex. In this complex, metal is Ru. Metal center is Ru, and Ru contributes 8 electrons. Ruthenium contributes 8 electrons. I repeat, ruthenium contributes 8 electrons. So 8 plus neta 5 C5H5 cyclopentadiene ion with neta 5 hapticity neta 5. Neta 5 means hapticity 5. And see, cyclopentadiene ion with hapticity 5 contributes 5 electrons. So plus 5. Cl contributes 1 electron. So plus 1. CO contributes 2 electrons plus 2. PPH3 contributes again 2 electrons plus 2. This will be equal to 8, 10, 12, 12 and 6, 18. So this is obeying 18 electron rule. So this will obey 18 electron rule. First complex is obeying 18 electron rule. Now let us calculate for the second one. T is equal to tungsten. Tungsten contributes 6 electrons. 6 plus CO. CO contributes 2 electrons. There are 3 COs. So 2 into 3 plus SiMe3 contributes 1 electron. Chlorine contributes again 1 electron. And CMe whole 2. It will contribute how many electron? How many electron will it contribute? 2 electrons. Why? Lone pair of nitrogen will be donated. The TC count, total electron will be equal to 6 plus 6 plus 2 plus 2. Let me check once. Have I missed something? I think I missed something. Oh, sorry. NMe 2 into 2. There are 2 NMe, so into 2. I missed that. 2 plus 4. Total of 18 electrons. Therefore, this is also obeying the 18 electron rule. Total electron count is coming to be 18. For the second complex also. So second complex is also tungsten complex, and this particular tungsten complex is also obeying the 18 electron rule. Now let us check for the third complex. TC is equal to IR. Iridium. Iridium contributes 9 electron. Iridium contributes 9 electron. There are 3 Cl. 1 Cl contributes 1, so 1 into 3 plus PPH3 contributes 2 electron. 1 PPH3 contributes 2 electron. So there are 2, so 2 into 2. ASPH whole 2. ASPH2. This contributes 1 electron. So plus 1. And there is one negative charge. So again plus 1 is equal to 9 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. 9 plus 3 plus 4 plus 2. 12, 12, 6, 18. This is also coming to be 18. So this complex is also obeying 18 electrons. So our answer is D option. D option is the correct. This complex will not obey total electron rule. This complex will not obey the 18 electron rule. Let us check also once. Let us calculate TC for this and check it for once. Osmium. Osmium contributes 8 electrons. It belongs to iron family. 8 electron plus nitrogen contributes 3 electron. Here nitrogen is not encapsulated. Here N is the vertex, and in the terminal N is in the terminal position, and N in the terminal position contributes 3 electrons. If it had been encapsulated, then nitrogen would have contributed 5 electrons. Alright, I hope I am clear. Nitrogen can contribute 5 electrons also, but the condition is the nitrogen should be present in the TC, or that nitrogen must be encapsulated. In this case, nitrogen is the terminal one. So nitrogen will, in this case, will contribute 3 electrons. So plus 3 Br, bromine contributes 1, there are 2, so 1 into 2. PME3, there is 1 PME3 contributes 2 electron. NME2 contributes 1 electron. There is 1 negative charge plus 1. Let us add this up. 11 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. 11 plus 6, 17. So we are getting TC is equal to 17. That means our complex osmium complex, given of osmium complex, do not obey the 18 electron rule. So the correct option is option number D. I hope it's clear. Just quickly note this down. Alright, let me pause the video and write down. Okay, next question is from December 2012. This question is from December 2012. In this question, it was asked, in this question, we need to find out which of the 4 complexes of beryllium is the most stable one. For this, what we need to check that now, first and foremost thing, this beryllium belongs to main group element, is the main group element. So here what should be the value of TC for the compound, for this complex to be stable? TC should be equal to 8. So we will check for which of these complex TC is coming out to be 8, and the complex for which TC is coming equal to 8 will be the most stable in case of this in this particular question. Now let us calculate for first one. TC is equal to beryllium contributes 2 electron, neta 5 C5H5 we have already discussed. 1 neta C5H5 contributes 5 electron, they are 2, so it contributes 5 into 2, this will come out to be 12. So this cannot be our answer, this option is wrong. Now let us check for second option. TC is equal to beryllium 2. Now here C5H5 is given but hapticity is 2. When C5H5 with hapticity 2 contributes 2 electrons, so plus 2 for this. Now the second C5H5 unit is given with hapticity 3, neta 3 C5H5. Hapticity 3 means it will contribute 3 electron plus 3. So it comes out to be 7. So again this cannot be the stable one because total electron count is coming to be 7. Now let us check for this one, total electron count. TC is equal to, now here hapticity is 1, C5H5 with hapticity 1 will contribute 1 electron. 2 electron for beryllium, 1 electron for C5H5 with hapticity 1. Now second one is with hapticity 3, and with hapticity 3 C5H5 contributes 3 electron. This is this comes equal to 6. So again this cannot be our stable complex. So what we are left with option number D. So option number D is the correct option. Let us also check one. Let us calculate TC for this to confirm. Beryllium 2, neta 5 C5H5 contributes 1 electron plus neta 5 C5H5 contributes 5 electron, and 5 plus 3 is equal to 8. Hence option number D is the stable. So this is the most stable complex is of beryllium is Be, hapticity 1 C5H5 and hapticity 5 C5H5. What will its structure like? If you want to draw this structure, how can we draw it? We can draw this like this. Its structure will be something like this. Its structure will be something like this. For this particular complex, the structure would be something like this. Alright. Now let's move to next question. Let me rub this. Now next question is from December 2012. In this question, the cobalt complex was given COO3CHCO9, and it was said that this particular complex is obeying 18 electron rule, and we were required to find the number of metal-metal bonds and the bridging ligands. Now let us first find out the number of metal-metal bonds. In order to find the metal-metal bonds, we need to calculate total electron count. Now let us calculate total electron count for this complex. Tc is equal to cobalt. 1 cobalt contributes 9. 3 will contribute 9 into 3 plus. Now we have CH. 1 CH contributes 3 electron plus 3. And 1 CO contributes 2 electron. They are 9. So 2 into 9, that is equal to, this will come out to be 27 plus 3 plus 18, that is equal to 48. This comes out to be 48. Now metal-metal bonds. Total number of metal-metal bonds. Total number of metal-metal bonds is equal to how much? Is equal to 18 into n minus total electron count divided by. This is the formula for total number of metal-metal bonds. This we have already discussed in the video number 2. In the second video we have discussed these formulas. I will leave the link for that video in the description area. You can go there and check it once. If you haven't watched that, please do watch that. The total number of metal-metal bonds is equal to 18 into n minus Tc, where n is the number of metal centers present in the complex. Here the number of metal centers are 3. There are 3 COs. The number of metal centers are 3. So what we can write here is equal to 18 into 3 minus Tc is 48 divided by 2 is equal to 54 minus 48 divided by 2, that is equal to 6 by 2, that is equal to 3. So how many number of metal bonds implies total number of metal bonds is equal to 3. So in this particular complex, total number of metal bonds are 3. So option number B and option number D gets cancelled out. So the two options are cancelled out. That's option number B and D, where the total number of metal bonds are given 0 and 6. So these options are cancelled out. So we are left with option number A and option number C. Now we have to look for the excuse me. Now we have to look for whether CH or CO will be the bridging line. Now if you know, the CO can act as both bridging as well as terminal ligand, but CH always work as an terminal ligand or a vertex. CH is working as a vertex. CH always work as a vertex or the terminal ligand. That is we can say terminal ligand. CH will be the terminal ligand in this case. So in this particular complex, CH is working as a vertex. It's not working as a bridging ligand. By bridging we mean bridging the two centers. But CH will be bonded to all the 3 cobalt. CH is bonded to all the 3 cobalts. Now, since CH will be lying in the terminal, and we have a CO is a good bridging ligand, so the correct option would be the carbonyl. 3 metal bonds and 1 carbonyl. Carbonyl is a bridging ligand. CH is not a bridging ligand. Just remember that. Forget about whether it is terminal or whatever. You just simply remember that in such complexes, CO will always be the bridging ligand and CH will be either at the vertex or will be the terminal ligand. Alright. What is basically this is I hope it's clear now. I repeat once again, CO will always act as CO will be the bridging ligand in this particular complex. The CH never act as a bridging ligand. The CH never act as a bridging ligand. Just do remember that, and CO can act as a bridging ligand. So our correct option would be among the two A and B, where in A option it is said 3 metal bonds and 1 CH, but CH we clearly know that CH never act as a bridging ligand. So what we are left with CO. So CO can act as a bridging ligand. So our correct option is 3 metal bonds and 1 carbonyl. Let me pause the video. Okay. The next question is from December 2016. In this, two complexes are given. Complex 1 was given of the cobalt CO neta 5 C5H5 B4H8, and second complex was given Mn neta 2 B3H8 CO whole 4. And in these two complexes, the cluster type was asked based on Wadage rule. As per Wadage rule, what will be the cluster type of these two complexes? That was asked in the question. Now, first and the foremost thing, what is important in this question is to identify which type of complex it is actually. If you see, this complex contain a metal and borane, right? B3H8 is a borane, B4H8 is also a borane, and CO and Mn are metals. These type of compounds are referred as metalloboranes. These complexes are example of metalloboranes. And in metalloborane, both metals and boron atoms, both metal and boron atoms form the vertices, right? In case of metalloborane, these are the example of metalloboranes, and in case of metalloboranes, both metal and boron atom will form the vertices. That means in complex A, this means for A, total number of vertices small n is equal to 1 cobalt and 4 boron, means 1 plus 4, that is equal to 5. Total of 5, n will be 5. For complex B, n will be equal to 1 Mn and 3 boron. 1 plus 3, that is equal to 4. So the total number of vertices in case of complex A will be 5, and in case of complex B it will be 4. I hope it's clear. Alright. Now, next thing what we need to find out is, in order to tell, now from here what we have got, how many number of vertices in this complex and number of vertices in this second complex. Now we need to calculate the skeleton electron pair, right? And for calculating skeleton electron pair, we need to know the total electron count. So let us first calculate the total electron count for both the complexes. For TC for A, TC for complex A will be equal to, now cobalt contributes 9 electron plus neta 5 C5H5. Neta 5 C5H5 means 5 electron contribution plus 5. There are 4 boron. 1 boron contributes 3. 4 will contribute 3 into 4 plus 3 into 4 plus, there are 8 hydrogens. 1 hydrogen contribute 1, so it will contribute 1 into 8. This will comes out to be 34. This comes out to be 34. TC for B. TC for B will be equal to Mn. Mn contributes 7 electron. Mn contributes 7 electron plus 3 boron. 3 boron means 3 into 3. 1 boron contributes 3. 3 will contribute 3 into 3. 8 hydrogen. 1 hydrogen contributes 1. 8 will contribute 8 plus CO, cobalt. CO is, carbonyl. 1 carbonyl contributes 2 and there are 4, so 2 into 4. This will comes out to be 32. If you calculate this will come to be 32. 7 plus 9, 16. 16 plus 8, 24. 24 plus 8, 32. So TC is 32. For complex A, that is for cobalt complex, TC is 34. Complex B, and for Mn complex, TC is 32. Now let us calculate the skeleton electron pair. Now if you have watched my previous video on cluster type, then you must be known that we have discussed that there are two formulas for calculating skeleton electron pair. One formula was SCP is equal to TEC minus 12 into N divided by 2. Second formula was SEP is equal to TEC minus 2 into N upon 2. TEC minus 2 into N by 2. And the first formula was TEC minus 12 into N by 2, and second formula was SEP is equal to TEC minus 2 into N by 2. And what we have discussed, that this particular formula will be used when vertices are when all the vertices are formed. Just a minute. This formula is used when all the vertices are formed by transition elements. This formula is used when all the vertices are formed by the transition element, and n is the number of vertices. And this formula in case of non-transition elements. And this formula is used when all the vertices are formed by only the non-transition element. Only non-transition element forms the peak, then we use the formula TEC minus 2 into N by 2. But if all the vertices are formed by the transition elements, we use the formula TEC minus 12 into N by 2. But in this case, both transition element as well as boron, which is a non-transition element, are forming the peak. So which formula can we use from among the two? So in such cases, when the vertices are formed by both type of element, that is the transition element as well as non-transition element, then the skeleton electron pair formula becomes, then the skeleton formula for calculating skeleton electron pair that we will use will be SEP is equal to TEC minus 12 into N1 minus 2 into N2 whole divided by 2. So formula that we will use will be TEC minus 12 into N1 minus 2 into N2, where N1 is equal to the number of vertices formed by the transition element. N1 here is the number of vertices that are formed by the transition elements, and N2 here, and N2 will be the number of vertices formed by the non-transition elements. So what will the formula? So what will be the so now using this formula, let us calculate the skeleton pair electron for A. So SEP for A is equal to TEC is 34 minus 12. N1 in this complex A, there is only one cobalt which is forming the vertices. So 12 into 1 minus. Now here we have four boron atoms that are forming the peak. So here N2 will be equal to 4. So 2 into 4 whole divided by 2, that is equal to 34 minus 20 divided by 2, that is equal to 7. And for 7 we can write it as 5 plus 2, and 5 is what? N. I can write it as N plus 2, and N plus 2 implies nido, and N plus 2 implies nido as per what is rule. N plus skeleton pair electron pair is equal to N plus 2, that is the total number of vertices plus 2, then the structure type will be nido. So the structure type for the complex A is nido. Let us check for SEP for B is equal to SEP for B. SEP for B will be equal to total electron count for B complex is second for the second complex is 32. So TC is 32 minus number of vertices formed by the transition element here are also 1. There is only one Mn, so only one vertices will be formed, that is 12 into 1. Now number of boron atoms are 3, so 3 vertices are formed by boron, means 2 into 3 whole divided by 2, that is equal to 32 minus 18 divided by 2. This will come out to be again 7, and for 7 I can write it as 4 plus 3, or that is equal to n plus 3, and n plus 3 implies arachno structure. Therefore, and as per Ward's rule, n plus 3 means arachno type structure. Therefore, the cluster type, the correct cluster type as per Ward's rule for complex A, that is for the cobalt complex, is Nero, and for the Mn complex it will be arachno. I hope it's clear. I hope it's very clear. For this particular problem, there is one more method by which we can solve for the cluster type as per Ward's rule, that is by using the concept of isolobal analogy. There is one more method by which we can solve this particular problem to get to the cluster type as per Ward's rule, that is the isolobal analogy. And how to solve this question by isolobal analogy, that we'll discuss in the other video when we take up the problems based on the isolobal analogy. So that's all for the today's video. Thank you very much. I hope you like my video. If you like my video, please do hit the like button, and if you haven't subscribed my channel yet, please do subscribe it. Do subscribe my channel, and don't forget to hit the bell icon to get the video earlier. Thank you.